Thank you so much.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
CVA's Accura Series. Bergara barrels for guaranteed accuracy. Nitride for guaranteed rust proofing. And a rifle guaranteed to be the best muzzleloader you've ever shot. CVA, it's just a better gun.
All right, guys, this next segment's being sponsored by Soulshine Pizza. Y'all can find them at 4021 Hughes Crossing at Suite 101 over in Franklin, Tennessee, or give my friend Steve Brandon a call, 615-379-7767, and let them take care of your catering needs as well. Go over and spend some time with them. They have some great live bands and delicious food, and be sure to tell Steve thank you for all he does for us here at the show. All right, welcome back. Now, I had a caller waiting on here for a few minutes, so we're going to go ahead and catch them. Pat, how are you doing tonight?
Fine, how are you?
Doing great. We appreciate you calling. How can we help you tonight?
I'd like to ask a question of you gentlemen. Are you familiar with the chicken-borne disease, histoplasmosis?
Yes, I am a little bit. That's the same one blackbirds can carry too. It's like
The research shows, according to 2 wildlife biologists that are state employees and one that's a federal employee, that what happens when Tyson's Food takes all that chicken poop and put it out to farmers at a very low price. They put it on the ground, and any bird can pick it up, but since turkeys are on the ground the most, they pick it up. They'll live for about a half a year, and then they'll die. But the really sad thing besides that is that it's Ebola-like. It spreads to other turkeys.
I have heard of some research being looked into that. I have not read any of the studies myself. I do know that they have indeed researched exactly what you're talking about. I don't know what the studies have shown. Sounds like you may have looked into some of them, but I don't know what has come out of those yet. I know nothing groundbreaking, so to speak, as far as it being put out, to the press yet, but they are looking into that and multiple other reasons around possible lowered turkey populations in certain parts of the state. There's some parts of the state that don't seem to be affected whatsoever, and some parts of the state that seem to be very affected. And it can be in small pockets. It can be one side of a county versus another side of a county. I mean, it's really odd the way that the trend seems to be set right now.
And I've heard that both sides about what he's talking about. I've heard that it does cause that, and then I've heard from on the other hand, that it does not cause that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I know that, the histoplasmosis, they call it the blackbird disease too, because, it can affect your eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, and the longer you have it, the more it affects your eyes where, it will blind you. So I do know that.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I hope that regardless of whether it does have to do with this or if it's got to do with whatever it may be, they get it figured out. I know there have been studies looking into predator issues, studies into habitat issues, studies into later seasons to allow earlier breeding, so on and so forth. I mean, many things they're doing right now to try to get it figured out.
I'm going to tell you, I've got a documentation that was put out in 1985 through TWRA, where there was a poult study done in August of that year. You would not believe how many poults was, the average number of poults with a hen in August in 1985 was 7. For the last 5 years now, it's just barely over 2. In the last 3 years, it's been like 1.8. And it takes 3.8 poults to carry on the population.
That's right.
Anything less than that, you start losing that. And when you get down below 2, you're on a fast track of turkeys going downhill.
And
quick.
Unfortunately, that's where we're getting.
And that's where we are right now.
So at 1.8, we've dropped below that margin.
That's right.
And you're spot on exactly with what you're saying, and that's not a good place to be biologically.
It's not.
So
but to look back
they
when
get
it
to the
was,
bottom of it, we hope.
When it was 7 in August in '85, and now what it is. And of course, it's a lot of people looking at stuff, but you think about it. Back in '85, look at fur prices, sky high. A lot of people trapping. Look at fur prices now. Nothing.
I think it's a combination of that as well as looking 85 at the amount of habitat they had versus what they have now.
It's kind of like perfect storm.
The amount of hunting pressure they had then versus they have now. Predators. Flooding is much worse. We don't think about that. Flooding changes with development and things like that. Now, I know in West Tennessee, it's river out there. Y'all don't have quite as much development yet in some of the areas you guys live in. But where I live, for example, I mean, the water, it changes all the time. Creeks that used to just barely would come up a little bit in the heavy rain, now they'll blow out of the banks by 10 foot.
Yeah, the urban sprawl here is one of the big.
That's affecting hatches in areas that we don't think it is my point. We think about it down where Roger is, and they're doing the deal down there with the flood zones. But we don't think about the fact that around here, our tributaries have changed. They're getting blown out a lot more than normal. If a hen's got a nest within we got to cut Pat off. Thank you for calling, Pat. That's a great subject. Okay, so anyhow, I just think that that's a big part of it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, is habitat. You've got predators. You've got possible diseases. You do have loss of habitat through farming. A lot of times we've knocked our fence rows out. We've knocked our tree rows out. We've turned everything into fescue, and fescue is wildlife's enemy.
That's right.
It's just
where I live at, just in the last 6 months, we've lost 1,000 acres.
Absolutely.
From development.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, it's no smoking gun. You know, it's just a combination
It is. That's
of
exactly
everything.
right. I don't think that they're ever going to put their finger on one thing.
I don't
think
either.
it's going to be multiple. But guys, we're going to get ready to take another quick break, and we'll be right back with some more Southern Woods and Waters.